had to get Danon on here to talk about negative reviews, how it's possible to get them removed off of your listings. You guys have probably been attacked by malicious competitors before or unfair customers, and you didn't know this was possible, but you can actually delete your negative reviews. Danon's going to walk you through why deleting negative reviews is the most powerful review mechanism you have, why it's more powerful than getting 5-star reviews, how it can double your sales. I have actually seen this on our business several times. We've had a handful of reviews deleted, and then magically our conversion goes up, our revenue jumps, literally doubled our revenue on certain products. Danon, my friend, I am super excited to have you as my secret contact to talk about all this stuff reviews related, and then show them how you can actually help them delete reviews off their listing. It's going to be amazing. Welcome, Danon.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Seth. Thank you for having me here. And everyone, hi, I'm Danon. I do remove negative product reviews that are in violation of Amazon's terms of service. And I just want to give a second for everyone to kind of come in. Let me start off by saying I'm not a professional speaker. I'm really quite nonchalant and very easygoing. So it took, with an extraordinary amount of Seth's help, I put together this deck that I'm going to go over for everyone. Usually I just have conversations with people, but let me just arguably blow up the chat here. Raise a hands. Who has Frank? Yeah, it is only non-compliant reviews. I can't get just any negative review removed. It's got to be non-compliant or fraudulent.
But also, Danon, there's a lot of ways that a non-compliant or a review can be non-compliant that people don't even realize.
Yeah.
You're going to talk about all that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And we will go over into the nuances of what kinds of reviews can be removed. And there's about 10 plus. It's definitely, I've got 10 definitely different policies that Amazon has that have to do with what reviews are, what reviews aren't, what is allowed, what's not allowed, etc. And it's, the scope of that is beyond what most of you really realize, I think. So, okay. First of all, who here feels that they have negative reviews that need to be removed? Let's see a little show of hands.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Yeah. So name says me. Jawad says present or present, not sure.
Yeah.
Man, so many people have negative reviews. We got Victor, JK, most sellers, Mattis, as I do. Literally, I feel like everybody has this going on, Danon.
Yeah. And look, I'll go over a little bit of details. I'm also a seller. I'm actively a seller. I've been selling on Amazon for 15 years and I sell in the supplement space. So understand that I am in the trenches with you guys. I am speaking from excruciating experience in some ways, but certainly just experience nonetheless. So, all right. Should I go ahead and get started, Seth?
Yep. Yes. Go ahead and get your screen share pulled up, guys. What I asked Danon to do was show some of the data that he's collected behind, what makes a review fraudulent. How powerful is actually deleting a negative review that shouldn't be there in the first place? When are these negative review attacks happening? Which, it's coming into holiday season. That is going to be prime time for your competitors to unleash a negative review attack. You got to be ready for this stuff. So it was like perfect timing to say, Danon, come and show everybody how important this is, how big of a revenue difference it can make, how everything gets more profitable when you have better reviews, how deleting one negative review can equal a ton of getting a lot of 5-star reviews. It's just a massive leverage point. And I wanted you guys to be able to see it. Danon's, like he already said, is not a professional speaker, but I did ask him to show some of the data. So he put together this great presentation. And then he's going to show you how he can actually do it for you, which I'm most excited about. So Danon, I'm going to hang out in the background with everybody, taking questions. If something is very pertinent, I'll interrupt you and ask you. If not, I'll be here for your support. Okay.
Sounds good. All right, everyone, here we go. This is my foray into public speaking here. So we're talking about negative product review removal. Let's go into some stats here. A single bad review can kill half your sales overnight. Anyone that's gone from a 4.3 to a 4.2, you've likely already experienced this. It's 25 to 50%. That's a fulcrum point. The 4.3, you show 4.5 stars. And yes, there will be a replay, Randy, but 4.3, you show 4.5 stars. At 4.2, you show 4 stars. When you lose that half star, it kills up to half your sales, just like that at a snap. So, just real quick, show of hands, who here has actually experienced this? Yeah,
Me.
instant. Yeah, yeah, me too.
Well,
Yeah,
Dana,
so
while everybody's answering, I've had it go from 4.3 to 4.2. I lost 50% of my sales,
yeah,
back from 4.2 to back to 4.3, and I gained that 50% back or 100%
ye-
back. So,
yep,
Praith says me, Muhammad says me, Victor says me, Frank says I went from 5 to 4.5. So, not sure what
interesting.
Frank, what happened to your sales, man? Yeah, lots of people having this problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I find this is not in my presentation, but I actually find that roughly for every zero point 0.1 star rating you lose around 10 plus percent of your sales. But the real killer is that 4.3 to 4.2. So, all right, let's move on here. How many 5 stars do you need to erase a single 1 star review or to overcome a single 1 star review? So, this is my numbers are on average because categories are different and quantity of reviews are different and stuff like that. And then, of course, the reviewers are different. But basically, every 1 star review cancels out roughly 10 5 star reviews. So the question here is, how long does it take you to get 10 5 star reviews? If you have no review acquisition strategy, then and we take just the normal 1 to 2% of sales will result in a review, not even a positive one, just a review. In order to get 10 5 star reviews, you need to make 1,000 sales, 500 to 1,000 sales. So when you remove a negative review that's canceling out 10, it's like making 500 to 1,000 sales in terms of review acquisition. We've got the holidays coming up like really quickly. I was just in a store with my wife, and the joke, it's certainly in America, mostly in America, but the joke is that once Thanksgiving is over, it's Christmas because all the Christmas stuff is coming out. I'm already seeing Christmas stuff at like the hobby stores and stuff like that. And I see this, it's really unfortunate. I see this all too often. Right before, I'm talking like the 7 days prior to a Prime Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, just the general holiday season, is when the fraudulent reviews smash your brand. You could have a hero product, you could have 10, but basically, if you're in a highly competitive space, I often see these spikes in negative reviews that do not conform to the average. You take a 12-month average and you're getting one negative review per day, and suddenly you get 8 or 10 or 12 or 15 for a 3-day period, and then wham, goes straight back down to your average. That's a major indicator for me that those are fraudulent reviews, and we're going to inspect every single one of those and try to associate those buyers with other fraudulent reviews or other reviews on your products that are similar to what they've written, or in many cases, they're actually the same. But the point is that if you wait to do negative review removal, I'm sure most of you didn't even realize that this was possible. I didn't even think it was possible until I went through all the testing and actually started doing it. And that, I'll tell you what, it's still a pain in the butt to do this service, but we get it done. So the point is that if you are waiting till the holiday season, it's too late. So basically, if you want to preserve your rating or have the best chance of reacquiring a good rating, well, we should have started earlier, but that's okay. Better late than never, better now than never.
Dana,
So,
before you move on, just
yeah.
1 second. So essentially, what you're saying is right before a holiday season, and some people in the chat box said the same exact thing. You're
Oh,
seeing a spike in negative review attacks from malicious competitors. So
yes.
when you have a well-positioned product, your competitors will get a massive advantage by inundating your listing with negative reviews. It drops your
Correct.
conversion, you drop out of the ranking, and now they can capture more sales. So, guys, be aware of this. You've probably seen it before, but if you don't have something in place to get rid of those fraudulent reviews, like we're talking today, you're at a major disadvantage. So, this is all coming up. Like the biggest sales days of the year are coming up. So, I wanted you guys to be aware of that. These review attacks are coming for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, cool. And then I was just reading while you were talking. Victor said only one negative review getting 21% importance in a global rating from 4.3 to 3.8. Yeah, that is completely crazy. Okay, I don't think I have this in my slide deck here. Maybe I should add it. Let's talk about the review algorithm a little bit. It is not mathematical. Okay, so it's not just an average of your number of ratings and reviews divided, added, and multiplied, and then you get your rating. There are, and I can't prove this, but I've gone through literally hundreds of thousands of reviews and removed thousands of reviews for my clients. Um, I think that there is a time decay on the value of any review, that the reviewer may hold more weight than another reviewer based on the review history, that the review itself will hold more weight depending on how well it's written, how much content is in there. Does it have a video? Does it have an image, etc.? And so, and here's the other thing, algorithmically, I firmly believe that Amazon is backwards, because we all know that a happy, and this is a rule in marketing, a happy person might go and out and tell one person that they're happy, but an angry person will tell 10. So let's just go back real quick to my first slide, because we created this. This is a review troll, okay? Review trolls, they make these alarming statements, especially fraudulent review trolls, mind you. They make these alarming statements. It almost killed me. Had to take my dog to the hospital. There was blood everywhere. Had to go to the hospital. These are, by the way, these are real reviews that I've either gotten removed or seen. Um, you know, rash all over the place. Had to go see the doctor. Doctor said don't use anymore. All kinds of crazy, crazy statements that are super alarming. It's often in all caps so that people's eyes go to those parts of the review. So review trolls, we don't like them. All right, so um, here's the issue. Most of you, and I hope you've tried, but most of you have been unsuccessful in even being able to remove a single negative review. Okay, and if you go to seller feedback, for instance, there's a button, report. It gets reported. Amazon goes, yeah, this doesn't conform to terms of service. They cross it out and they say Amazon's responsible for this. This was an FBA issue. Well, that doesn't exist for product reviews. It is even for me, it is a massive pain in the butt to do this. And the problem is that you got competitors out there that violate terms of service, violate the law even. And you can't do anything about it, even though you can prove to Amazon, like, look, this is literally not a product review, or this picture is not my product, or it's not, this is about Amazon, not about me. And you still don't get those reviews removed. So what if you could, right? We work directly with Amazon using Amazon's official communication channels, and we can remove remove reviews faster than you can stack legitimate 5-star reviews in terms of the value. So if every negative review, let's just take an average, every negative review we remove is worth 10 5-star reviews, and we can get 10 reviews removed in a month. It's like acquiring 50 5-star reviews. So this is not a black hat service. There's no risk to you. The removals are permanent, and you're only going to pay for removed reviews. This is a pay for performance model. So there's no monthly. I do the work. You don't pay unless I actually get the review removed, despite the work that I do. And I'll tell you right now, I remove a lot less reviews than I do send cases to Amazon. So why should you listen to me? I'm going to go into that. Well, this is partially why. I have 3 daughters to feed. Come on, people. But I'm a family man. I know this is a pixelated picture, but I've got 3 beautiful daughters and a stunning wife, who I've been with for 20 years now. I'm an adventurer. I love the outdoors stuff. This is me hanging my feet over the Grand Canyon, looking over the Grand Canyon. Um, that's my rover. I do a lot of off-roading. I love motorcycles, jumping down far waterfalls is also. Dang it, my wife left that photo in there. Okay, so I'm a humanitarian. My wife took this photo. I asked her not to put this in there, and she freaking put it back in there. But this is me during Hurricane Dorian, this was in the Bahamas, and this is the south end of the island. But I am a FEMA certified disaster response person, so it's called CERT. I've deployed all over the country and in different countries as well to do disaster response. And then this is my seller experience. So I started selling on Amazon on Amazon in 2010. I have managed three accounts, 6 brands, and I'm still active today. And I have experience in the software. So SaaS, for anyone that doesn't know, is software as a service. And so I started in 2018 at Managed by Stats. I ran the content studio there, and then I helped broker the sale of that to Carbon6. And I went to Carbon6 as strategic partnerships. And then I started my own company this year, basically in 2025. And so I do negative review removal. And then I've got another company called Catalog Defender, where we monitor for critical issues for large brands on products. So, any questions so far? Oh, I do see some questions. All right, so we can do this in the EU. Yeah, so US, EU, pan EU. Yes, absolutely. And with global reviews, if you're selling in the US, a lot of those reviews count towards your US rating or vice versa. But yeah, we do handle this worldwide. There are some marketplaces, yep, UK as well. There are some marketplaces where we're not set up, but that doesn't mean we can't do it. So Robert asks, how do you know if it's a competitor review? Look, that's really hard to prove. There's no question about it. We look for statistical anomalies. So we're looking for keywords that someone might use. We go for what are the other reviews that reviewer has done. Sometimes, and I've done this only twice, sometimes you get 5-star reviews promoting a competitor product. That's an interesting scenario, but that does happen. So we use these indicators like spikes in your negative reviews. What is the what is the content of these reviews you suddenly got? And then we basically just go to Amazon and say, look, these all came in at one spot. They all basically say the same thing. This is highly suspicious of being fraud. And then hopefully Amazon actually takes action. All right. So,
Hey, Dana,
yeah, buddy.
I know we're gonna run into a hard limit at 2.
Yep.
So because a
Should
lot
I
of people
carry
will
on?
have to bail out. So let's if we can just get through all the
All
content,
right.
and then I'll keep track of all these questions, and then we'll get to everybody's questions at the very end. But
All
I
right.
think a lot of you guys will have your questions answered by Danon's actual presentation. Dana, I just don't want people to miss the end here.
Yeah, got it. Okay. Carrying on. So 1 to 2% of buyers leave a review. That means we've already covered this a little bit. That means for every 500 sales you make, maybe you'll get 10 reviews, but they're not all positive, right? A single 1-star review can cancel out as many as 10 or even more 5-star reviews, particularly if you have a fewer number of reviews overall. Dropping from a 4.3 to a 4.2 can reduce your sales as much as 50%. Amazon doesn't police negative reviews well. You all know this. So here's some examples, like this review here. NA is the title, NA is the body. Cool, not even a review. It's just 1 star. Gross, don't waste your money, tastes like butt. All right. Defamation. This is like licking tub cleaner off of a dirty bathtub. Defamation. Slow on delivery. Product was good, shipping horrible. 1 star. Not a product review, right? That's a shipping review. So that's an FBA issue. You would think, I mean, Amazon's got all the data. They could take action on this. My company should not need to exist. But as you can see, they do not. So real quick here, show of hands, who's received this email? And I'm going to read it to you real quick. This is to notify that Amazon has taken an action to remove your list from your listings, product reviews that were associated with buyers that violated Amazon's policies, blah, blah, blah. It was on this ASIN and the purchase was from this date to this date. Okay. Never once have I seen that be a negative review that got removed. Now I've got hundreds of customers. I've removed thousands of reviews. We are tracking this stuff. So my clients that get those, and I've received them myself too. This is actually my email, by the way. These are not negative removals. They're almost always positive. And so it seems to me that Amazon, being afraid of the FTC and review manipulation and already getting slammed by them for that, they'll remove the positive reviews because the negative reviews just don't seem to be on their radar. So they also don't police buyer accounts and the review history well. So look at this. This is a screenshot of a buyer account. Every single review is negative. They're all 1 stars. You can't exactly see the whole thing, but every title is precisely the same. It says, "Don't waste your money." And then if you look at this, these reviews are batched. These top 3 here on the left, all beauty. Then we've got baby stuff. Then we've got cups, right? And so they all say came dirty and broken, broken and ripped, dirty and ripped, damaged and broken and ripped and dirty and blah, 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 blah. Every review is a variation of exactly the same thing. This is clearly a majorly fraudulent account. So what's the cost? I said, I showed you this before, but that 4.3 to 4.2, that's your fulcrum point. That is your most critical place to be at. Anyone that's at a 4.3 should be taking action on this and doing whatever you can to make sure you do not dip below that.
But
We don't
also,
like
Dan, and the people at 4.2 have a huge growth opportunity if you can go from 4.2 to 4.3. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Technically, you can acquire another 50% of sales if you go from a 4.2 to a 4.3. All right. So who thinks they've got fraudulent reviews? Let's see a show of hands or in the chat. Who here thinks they've been subjected to fraudulent reviews? Frank. Yep.
JK,
Yeah, Brianna,
Robert, Audit,
yeah,
Mark, definitely.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that's the thing. They're hard to prove, but we do it. We do get them done. It's not always successful, but we are able to build some pretty strong cases because we're holistically looking at your account and we're assessing these reviews against each other. That's definitely something that we handle. Yeah, man, so many people are I think they feel they've got fraudulent reviews. And you're probably right. You know, like we as sellers, we know we're looking at this and like, this just doesn't make sense. And so you reach out to the customer and say, "I'm so sorry you had a bad experience." You offer them a refund, you offer them a replacement, and they just don't respond in most cases. Oh man, you guys, this is crazy. We just had Amazon Accelerate. Right before Accelerate, I actually got hit with fraudulence on my own buyer account, where 2 people independent of each other are saying, if you don't refund my money, this is 30 days, 31, 32 days after they purchased my supplement, which is a 30-day supplement. They made crazy claims, came with bugs in it and oil all over the place and stuff like that. We're like, oh my gosh, send us a picture. And nope, if you don't refund me, I'm going to buy your inventory, return it, and then leave negative reviews so nobody else buys it. I'm like, oh my God, this is perfect. So I brought it to Amazon Accelerate, and we're actually working on that fraud case with Amazon right now. No results so far. This is just what it's like. Okay, yeah. So who's dropped 0.1 of a star rating? And tell me, what percentage loss did you see? I'm really curious about that. I think on average, based on my customers, it's around 10%. But I'm curious, what was your loss of sales when you dropped just 0.1 star? Not 4.3 to 4.2, just 0.1 star. I'll let everyone type that in while I continue on. So here's 25 to 30%. Wow. That's crazy. Okay. So here's a negative review bomb. This is July of this year. On July 9th, they had a 4.3 star rating. They received like 60 one-star reviews in what is this, a 2.5 day period, a 2 day period, and they crashed down to a 3.8. It says 6 days. It was actually basically 5 days. So from a 4.3 to a 3.8 in 5 days. Now, I've removed so far about 20 of these 60 reviews for the client, and we're still working with Amazon. But this is what happens. Especially this was right before it was a Prime Day. Um, I think it was a Prime Day. Yeah. But this is crazy. Like this should not be happening. Number one, it's illegal. Number two, all of us here, we all have to support ourselves. We've got families. We've got children. I've got 3 daughters. Imagine how much sparkles I have to buy. You know, uh, this is stuff that literally ruins families, and why I'm so passionate about getting this done for you. The Yeah, okay, I'll try not to get on a soapbox here, but this is crazy. This literally ruined these guys' brand, you know? And they had to fire staff because suddenly they're making like 60, 70% less income. So this is a major problem. So what happens when we remove reviews? This is a complicated graph. This is a Keepa graph. Okay. So what Seth, can you see my mouse moving around, by the way?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good, good, good. So what we're going to pay attention to are three main sections here. This light green graph that kind of goes wild all over the place. This is BSR, your bestseller rank. Okay. So this yellow one is monthly sold, which is an estimate. And then this bluish greenish one is the rating. So we've got a 4.2 rating. Okay. We've got a BSR of around, it says 5170 here, but if you look back, it goes way up above that. And then we've got the monthly sold at 200. Now let's fast forward about a month after I started doing review removal. We have a rating of 4.3, 1,000 units sold. Look at that graph. This is like July 1st to August 8th. Basically, we've gone from 200 to 1,000 sales and a BSR of 824. So let's look at this 4.2 to 4.3, 5170 to 824, 200 sold a month to 1,000 sold a month. I mean, who doesn't want a 5x sales? And this is not something, this is an extreme example because usually you see an increase of 25 to 50%, but this brand 5x sales. If that doesn't tell you what's available in your market, if you're at the top and you're displaying that 4.5 star, it's like, man, it's the best thing. So let's go into what happens even when you don't see an increase in your star rating, because Amazon algorithmically, they've got ratings between ratings. Here's my assessment. If you are overall improving star rating over time, even between that 0.1 to 0.2, 2 to 3, etc., you see usually first, I've only got access to public data, so I see the BSR starts creeping down. But my clients have informed me that they see an increase in conversion rate that gets them better ranking, which lowers PPC cost or makes it more effective because you're converting more. They're seeing higher sales, which of course leads to higher profitability. So I don't want to explain to you that this is the magic solution and magic bullet. This is a part of your overall strategy to ensure that you've got the best possible representation of your product. Okay. But it is extraordinarily powerful. Arguably one of the most powerful things that you can do outside of just driving traffic, right? But that traffic doesn't convert if your rating is crap and you've got a bunch of negative reviews that are making false claims and stuff like that. So let's go into how we do this. All right. It's a flywheel. We download your negative reviews. We run it through an AI that's trained on all of Amazon's community guidelines, everything Amazon has to say publicly, as well as privately behind Seller Central and stuff like that. We identify the reviews that have violation or fraud. We start filing cases and emails and forms with Amazon, and then we run it back again. Now, you might ask, well, how many can you remove? It's between 5 and 10% of all of your written negative reviews. And we have technically, depending on the type of review, up to 10 steps of escalation with Amazon. You as the seller, you're likely only aware of one or two, maybe three. Report review button, which does nothing. Community help, which they typically, if they respond at all, they say, we've inspected the review and we found that it's compliant, even though when it's clearly not. And then there is seller support. So, and they tell you, go see community help, which is completely unhelpful. All right. So I have a $500 onboarding fee. For those of you that are on this webinar, Seth, should I keep it for the people that are watching the webinar later, or should I just make it for the people that are here right now?
Well, let's do it to everybody who got invited.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan, because I know
Okay.
you were kind of adamant. Well, we talked about this a lot. Essentially, we
Yeah.
didn't want to come and say, "Hey, pay $500 for an onboarding fee." Dan wanted to do something pretty amazing. Go ahead.
Yeah, cool. So basically, it's kind of a buy now. You know, I have a $500 onboarding fee because I have an extreme amount of work on the upfront that needs to get done with downloading, assessing. Oh, by the way, each case is completely individual and manually done. So we're not like, we don't just blast Amazon with 1,000 cases. We have to do it at a cadence that is acceptable to Amazon based on your account, and we assess that on, what their response rate is. But basically, you get signed up today, it's $1.50. That locks you in at, well, it locks you in at no onboarding fee. It's $1.50, and I have that $1.50 just so I can verify the credit card. But here's what you get with this. Even if you don't have a lot of reviews, this is worth it to you because we're daily monitoring your negative reviews. It doesn't cost you anything. And we're filing on those if we find that they're non-compliant. So you could be a client of mine for 8 months and not have any reviews removed because you have so few, but then you get one, we file on it, it gets removed, done. It didn't cost you anything for me to monitor for those reviews for those 8 months. You only pay for the review that gets removed. And the cost per removed review is $225. So,
Now,
what's this last slide?
Dan, and this is truly insane because I know, we've grown lots of brands, and I've literally seen my sales cut in half by that last negative review that pushed me over the edge. I lost 50% of my sales countless times. And then I had to do what you said. I had to go out there and struggle to get all these 5 stars to make it up. And then when you get a hold of the idea that you can just get rid of these fraudulent reviews, now it really helps the process. So guys, Dan and I talked about it, and we said, well, what if we didn't have to charge the $500 onboarding fee? What if you would just do all this work up front and just do to verify the credit card? And he said, okay, I'll do it. It's a lot of work, but I want to treat you guys special. And so that's what he put together. And then the thing that I love most about it, Dan, is it's absolutely massive in impact, but they don't have to pay. Nobody pays anything until you actually succeed at what you promised to do, which instantly gets you results. So you're sitting there doing nothing. Imagine what if Amazon didn't charge you for ads until after you got a sale at the right ACoS that you wanted, right?
That would be awesome.
That would never happen. But Danon's willing to do all the work to produce a better product listing and a higher conversion rate and a higher profitability for you, literally almost for free. $1.50 is essentially free. And then once he does the work and produces the result, then he asks for $225. I think it's a screaming bargain. I hope every single person on this call signs up for it because Danon's going to monitor all of your listings continuously. And then as soon as you get a review that pops up that he can remove, bang, now he produces the result for you, and then he only asks for money later. I think it's a beautiful thing, Danon. I super appreciate you waiving the onboarding fee because I know, that was one of the things you and I went back and forth about a lot. How can we really keep this special for people?
Yeah.
And that's what you were able to do. So that's amazing.
Yeah, thanks. And just so everyone's aware here, I have hard costs. So I'll be investing into your company before I ever charge you. And you're not paying for the work, you're paying for the results. I'm confident enough in my service that I feel I'm not going to lose money on this. Okay, so Seth, should we answer some questions here? I see
Yeah,
them. I
let's do
see.
the questions. But first, before we do that, let's grab that link and put it in the chat box for everybody. That
Oh
way,
yeah.
everybody can do it. So, guys, if you want to get in, Danon does not, he was telling me I've never done this before and have no
No.
plan to do it in the future. So, if you want to get in when Danon's willing to be ultra generous and do it essentially for free, just the $1.50 credit card authorization, you can do
Yep.
that. I'm going to try to paste this in the chat box here for everybody. There you go. That should work. Let's verify.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
that works.
Either link works. You can go to ecomtriage.com/deal and it'll redirect to that link or use that link. It's totally fine.
Okay, Dan, and tell me something about when we get on the page here, it says save $50 by prepaying for your first 2 reviews. We talked about
Oh,
this as well.
that's
What
right.
does that mean?
Okay. So, as I just told you, it's $225 per removed review. Anyone that feels that they have a larger quantity of reviews that that are illegitimate or non-compliant, you can prepay for your first 2 reviews. This is just like it's a buy now, basically, is what it is. You can prepay for your first 2 reviews and you'll save $50. So instead of $450 for your first 2 reviews removed, it'll be 400, and that just goes on as a credit to your account. Yeah. So
Yeah,
this
that's
is
amazing.
yeah. Again, another thing I don't offer. And and I know I see a lot of questions. I will answer your questions in a moment here. Um, I I'm kind of bumbling my way through this, folks. I'm no
You're
pro
doing
at this
great.
stuff.
Doing
Um,
great. So guys, what Danon has here for you today, if you just joined, because Steve said he did, Danon will look at
oh,
all your
cool.
reviews, all your negative reviews. He'll invest into figuring out if they're non-compliant. There's a lot of different mechanisms that make them non-compliant. He will use 10 different escalation sources to keep hounding Amazon about getting those negative reviews removed off of your account, and he's going to do it essentially for free. He's just asking for credit card authorization. It's $1.50. When you sign up to do that, Dan and his team will go to work. When they are successful, he's going to ask you to pay $225 for that review that he got removed. He also, when you sign up, has a little button that says save $50 by prepaying for your first 2 reviews. If you choose to do that, what you're doing is you're getting $450 worth of reviews removed for $400. And he's going to hold that for you as a credit for as long as that takes to get it done. Now, I know, Dan, and some people have asked, well, how long does that take for a
Yep.
review to get removed? And that's completely going to be up to Amazon responding to all the work you're doing. And it could be today or it could be in a month or two, right? Like
Yeah.
what is that? Did I get that right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And by the way, I think I may have gotten something wrong on my form here. Someone said that it says 200 for 2 reviews. That would be uh it's should be 400 for your first 2 reviews removed. And I just need to check that real quick.
Yep. That
Uh,
they are right. That's what it says when you click the
oh,
box. It says two
okay. I
reviews
messed
for you.
up on that, everyone. My apologies. If it's anyone that does the um anyone that does the prepay, we'll just make it for the if is it 200? Where
200.
what
Yeah.
did I do here? It's 200. Okay, it'll be for the first review removed then.
Okay.
Yeah, my apologies, everyone. I told you I was no pro at this. Where do I even fix that?
Well,
Uh,
leave it for now then. Jason says it was 200. He got those. Um, all right, let's get through these questions here, Dan. What do you think here? What is the minimum number of reviews that you have for this service? You don't have a minimum, right, Dan? Anybody can
no,
sign up. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Anyone can sign up because the main thing is that look, to be honest, the most critical time to have reviews removed is when you're launching a product, right? If I can't remove any of those reviews, which is possible and even likely if you've got very few, it doesn't matter. It doesn't cost you anything to get on, and so you will get the monitoring for free.
Yep.
So I'll always be watching, you know.
So Dan, in my mind, if I have a product and it's a newer product and it has 3 negative reviews, if one of them is clearly fraudulent and you have a clear path to get it removed, why would you not do that?
Yeah.
So, anyways, you're gonna find so many reviews that people don't even think are fraudulent. Is my take on it. Julie
Well, we hope
said,
so.
"Oh, here we go. Is there a contract? There's not a contract, is there?
No contract. This is an at-will service. The only thing is that if you decide to sign up, there's a 30-day offboarding period because we have to be able to close out our existing cases with
It works.
Amazon.
Yeah.
So no further action happens. We just close out cases with Amazon after 30 days, and this happens all the freaking time. But after 30 days, if any review gets removed, you don't get charged for it. So it's
Beautiful.
just a 30-day period. Seth, I'm
Uh,
really concerned about me making a mistake on my onboarding form for prepaying. Look, everyone, I'm really sorry about that. It should have been $400 for the first 2 reviews. Since it's 200, it's going to be for the first review, just to clarify.
okay,
And
Dana. Now let me ask you this: if
yep,
people want that second review for the extra $25 savings, can they reach out to you and let you know?
yeah, of course,
Okay.
I'll honor it. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. But they're not yeah, I'll honor that for sure. I'll just have to charge.
Don
I'll have to
says, "May I
manually.
ask, are you able to review verified purchase negative reviews, not just fraudulent ones?" So, Don, you
Oh
could
yeah, for
have a
sure.
verified negative review that is fraudulent for a ton of reasons, right, Dan?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So anyone here, I would say right now, open up a new tab, go to Google and do a search for Amazon Community Guidelines. There's a section in there called What's Not Allowed. That is basically the first round of what I'm looking for. Is it about FBA? Is it about is it are there unfounded medical claims? Is it product defamation? Are they making alarming statements or attacking? There's a whole bunch of different reasons there. And yeah, I will say that the vast majority of the reviews that I get removed are just simple non-compliant reviews.
Okay. A couple more questions here popping in. Jamie
Yep.
says, "Are there any package for a larger quantity of reviews?" I'll let you, if you want to speak to him privately about that, or if you have
Yeah,
any commentary.
yeah, that's fine. It it r- so no, there's not. But like my one of my larger clients, they've got 25,000 negative reviews. So like on that, okay, it makes sense, you know. There's an extraordinary amount to go there. Um, saw another question.
Here's one for you. Mark says, "Can I control the amount of reviews removed per week or per month? Like, I don't want to remove any more than X per month."
Um, Not exactly, but we can kind of augment the range a little bit. We are we are ultimately limited on the quantity that we can remove by how many cases we can send to Amazon. So if you've got 3,000 reviews, you won't see a bill for 300 um 300 reviews removed in week 1. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's the short answer is no. The long answer is kind of. Um, and we are just we are limited by how many cases we can do. And also because Amazon is the one that actually removes the review, I have no bearing, no say, as much as I would love to have it. I have no say on what Amazon will and will not remove. The best I can offer is that the work will be done and it will be continuously done to try to get Amazon to remove the ones that are fraudulent and not and or non-compliant. Fraudulent ones are non-compliant. So any non-compliant review.
Danny, here's a
Um
question that I've seen a couple different versions of,
yeah.
which is, can you how like essentially can you remove existing negative reviews? Which the answer is yes,
Yeah.
because they were asking, can you only remove the reviews that come in after your monitoring service? And no, you can go
No.
back. Is there any length of time that would stop you from attacking a fraudulent review? Like, is it a
No.
really old negative review that's fraudulent? Can you do anything with that?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely can. As a matter of fact, do you know oh man, why does his name escape me right now? Um
Jeff Bezos?
Jeff Bezos. Do you know that fella? Um, it's Beast
Oh,
Gear. Um, darn it. AJ, if you remember who is the guy that does Beast Gear, I don't know why his name escapes me at the moment, but basically, I just got a review removed
Ben
from
Leonard
him.
says, Mark, is
Ben
that right?
Leonard. Ben Leonard, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you, everybody. Not Mr. Beast. I'd love to do negative review removal on his chocolate, though. I'll bet you there's a bunch of stuff there. So I just got a review removed for Ben Leonard. I think it was 2018.
Nice.
So um, there's no length of time, but I do go after the more recent reviews first, and then I'll kind of just go back and forth, going older and newer and stuff like that. But the more recent reviews, I believe they've got more weight than those older ones. But sometimes those older ones are showing up as like the critical negative review, and so we definitely will go after those if it's non-compliant. It's got to be non-compliant. Um, there's a there's another question that was out there. Oh, what are negative reviews? Yeah. So 3, 2, and 1 stars. Those are considered negative reviews by Amazon. Here's the rub is that if this is seller feedback, a 3 stars considered neutral, but if it's a product review, Amazon considers it negative. I don't know. But yes, we'd go after 1, 2, and 3 star reviews. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3 stars. Okay, 20,
Don, hey, Dan, Don says, how will we know the reviews are not compliant? Well, you're going to
that's my
do
job.
all that work.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to worry about what's compliant and non-compliant. You may read a review and think, "Ah, dang it, that sucks." But I might still get that review removed. Conversely, you might read a review and go, "That's fully non-compliant." I'll look at it and be like, "Yeah, that's non-compliant," and then Amazon doesn't remove it. So, that's why we have this crazy escalation process.
A couple questions similar to Mike's here says, can I ask that you focus on specific ASINs?
Yes, absolutely.
And then
Yes.
a variation of that question is, can I ask that you focus on specific reviews?
Mm. That I can't do because
Okay,
this
so
is
you're doing
more of a
ASIN.
shotgun
Yeah.
effect, shotgun kind of service. We have to like pick reviews here, there, everywhere. Now, one thing to know is that it is if I can go after the entire catalog, that allows me to detect fraudulent reviews. Because what'll happen is a reviewer will go in. Let's say your product's $30. If you got a $500 product, this probably isn't going to happen. But if you got a $30 product, a $20 product, and somebody goes in, they leave a negative review on this variation, and then go find let's just call it beauty. They find your shampoo, your conditioner, and your hair oil, right? And they leave the same review on all 3. If I'm only going after one of your ASINs, I'll never know about those other 2 because I haven't downloaded them and we haven't assessed them. So it is important that we go after as many of your ASINs as possible. And I realize that I'm asking you guys to pay more money because I'll be removing more reviews, but it also allows us to more slowly roll through the ASINs, right? So we're picking this review from this ASIN and putting a case on it. We're going to this ASIN, putting a case on it. And I just see better results that way in terms
But
of,
also, Danon, every time you remove a review,
yeah,
results go up. So I don't know.
yeah,
Like, this is like the best marketing ROI ever. I don't know. It'd be like somebody saying, well, every time I spend money on ads, I get a 10% ACOS and it just sucks. It's like, no, it doesn't suck. It's awesome.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, if AJ, looks like a couple of people are texting us their emails, I guess, for more information. Would you just keep track of that, please, so we
Yep, keep
don't
track of those, Dan. And
lose
some
them?
people have wanted to reach out and talk to you directly, so
Oh,
I
sure.
asked them for their
So
email.
yeah, so support at ecomtriage.com.
There you go.
Um, let me put that into the chat for everyone. So support at ecomtriage.com. With that said, I am going to be closing down. I'll listen to Seth's advice on this, but I'm going to be closing down the $1.50 because it's long term. It's not sustainable for me to be able to onboard to just onboard people for free. But I'll talk to Seth about when I should close that down because I realize the people that are watching the webinar are going to want to take advantage of this as well. But um, if you if this service interests you at all, it's worth the $1.50 to find out,
Yeah.
you know? So I urge you to sign up now. This is my call it my holiday special, I guess. It's just
Holiday special. This is the Seth special. Come on, Danon.
this special
That's too hard to say,
special
isn't it?
special.
Yeah. How
Yes.
about just Danon's a great guy and committed to doing something amazing? Um,
Thanks. Yeah.
Megan was asking, or a few people have asked, okay, so Danon, how do I actually specify when I want you to like which ASINs I want you to work on? So
Ah,
that's during onboarding, right?
yeah. So all of you are going. So those of you that have signed up, you on the thank you page, you'll have given me hopefully your merchant token, but in ASIN. But it's actually neither here nor there. As long as there's no other sellers on your ASINs, I'll be able to acquire your merchant token. Once I've got your merchant token, I'm going to produce an ASIN sheet, an audit sheet where I list out all of your active. Well, here, why don't I just show people what they're going to see?
That's a
Um,
beautiful thing.
let's see, where's my, let me do that. Are you still seeing my,
I've got you.
okay. So you see my demo ASIN sheet
Yes.
here?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, good. So this is actually what I'm going to produce for you. All right. So this will be all of your products, right? You are going to automatically, these will be all selected. Only deselect the products you don't want us to work on. So let's say this brand, we don't sell the iPhone 13 case anymore. Good, deselect it. But ideally, don't just have me work on only one of your ASINs because, you know, most of us that are sellers, we've got a hero ASIN or a couple of hero ASINs. If I can work on the other ASINs as well, it for whatever reason, I don't understand this at all, but for whatever reason, I ultimately get better results on the primary ASIN. It doesn't make sense to me, but it literally is almost 100% of the time. Okay, so back to the ASIN sheet. This is what you'll get. Anything that is checked will be worked on. If you've only got one ASIN job, that's totally fine. It is what it is. I'm just saying for people with multiple ASINs, it is ideal to go after multiple. But yeah, not a problem at all. So only deselect the products you don't want to go after. Okay. And then just so everyone knows, if you deselect a product after you've been onboarded, there is a 30-day offboarding period. We have likely already put cases in with Amazon on it. So make sure you're certain before I fully onboard you. So that's the ASIN sheet. Then there's another tab called reviews. This is every review we've been able to download for your brand. So you get access to this. This is 24/7 access to this. If we've worked on it, we'll mark it as worked on. And if we've removed it, we'll mark it as dead and it'll go red. Okay. And then that will go over to a chronological list. So a time consistent list of what reviews have been removed. And then also contained in this is going to be the onboarding instructions. But AJ is going to reach out to you and you'll go back and forth. And this is probably a question. Randy, the answer is no. You do not have to have a certain number of negative reviews. Even if you had 0, I would urge anyone to take advantage of this and onboard because you get monitoring, like daily monitoring of your negative reviews. And then if there's a negative one that violates Amazon's terms of service, I will file on it, and then you only pay for the review that gets removed. All right, so back to
But
the
also,
onboard.
Dane, and
Yeah.
let's harp on that a little bit, guys.
Okay.
If you haven't signed up yet, then I think you should, because I've seen this happen to me. Danon's seen it. Well, I've seen it with so many sellers. The holiday period is the most sales
Yeah.
rich period of the entire year, and that is when all these review scammers like to kick up all this trouble. And
Yeah.
if Danon's out there watching it for you, at least right before Black Friday or Cyber Monday, you got somebody on your side there working on this stuff immediately when it pops up. So if you can't swing the $1.50, Danon normally charges $500 for the onboarding fee. He's doing it essentially for free. Please take advantage of it.
Yeah.
I asked him to do something special, and he agreed, and he's bending over backwards to do it. He's not going to do this forever. I just put that link in the chat box again for you guys, just to make sure, because I
Yeah.
don't
Thanks.
want you guys to miss it. Okay.
Mike, you've got two different brands under the same Seller Central account. No problem. So that'll all go into this one ASIN sheet. Let me go back to the ASINs here. So that'll all the ASINs for all your brands in that merchant token account, that Seller Central account, will go into this one sheet. Anybody that is that has multiple merchant accounts, that's also not a problem, but we will keep the ASIN sheets separate because it's tied to the ASINs that are under that merchant account. But yeah, normally I charge $500 per merchant account. Anyone that signs up now, can I afford to not do that? Whatever. I'll work it out. Anyone that signs up now, if you've got 10 merchant accounts, we'll take them all on at that $1.50. I'm banking on being able to remove reviews for you guys so that I don't lose money on this, but I think we'll be okay. No, I know we will. I'm confident in the ability to help you guys out.
Dana, you're not asking them to fill in the sheet. You're actually going to create it
No,
for them.
I'll create it for them. Yeah.
And another thing is, Rita says, "Hey, I kind of feel a little silly, but can you remind me where to find that merchant token?"
Oh, yeah, sure. So, let's see. Actually, if you just go to any product, and you click, oh darn it, that one's shipped and sold by Amazon. That's a 1P account, not a 3P account. Let's try something else. Watch this be sold by. Okay, so this is sold. No, it is shipped and sold by Amazon. Let me find a different product.
T-shirts might be hard to find.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go with headphones, and we'll go Amazon Basics. No. Sony. Oh my gosh! Also shipped and sold by Amazon. This is not working out for me.
You need like a private label brand.
Yeah, exactly. Let's try this one. There we go. Okay, so it says right here, sold by. You click on here. This is your store page, not your store front, but your store page. If you look up in here where it says seller equals, that's your merchant token right there. I can't zoom in. Can you see that? You see it zoomed in?
You're all right. Yep.
Okay. Additionally, let me.
And like Mark says, in your account info, it's under business information inside
Yeah,
your Seller Central
thanks.
account too.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Mark. I think somebody, Samantha says I'm in a different time zone. How long is the offer going to last? 5 minutes, Samantha. No, you're good. Oh, you're in South Africa. Cool. Love it there. So look, this is a buy now. The link is live. It's ready for you. And the onboarding to get your credit card and to get me an ASIN should take you less than 3 minutes. But here's the link again to get signed up. That's going to secure you. Okay. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to do the audit. And then we're going to send you the onboarding email. Yeah, let's see. Was there anything else that I'm missing here? Oh, onboarding instructions. Basically, yeah, we won't worry about that for right now, but this will all be in here. Your ASINs, the reviews we've downloaded, the reviews we've removed, and the onboarding instructions. So anyone that wants to see that again, to get that deal, you can click on this QR code and get signed up, or you can go to ecomtriage.com/deal, and that's fine. Ryan says, I'm not selling on Amazon yet, but plan to soon. Can I sign up for your service? You need to have an active merchant account and active products yeah, you need to have an active merchant account to be able to sign up.
Leonard says, what about new ASINs after we launch, that we launch after onboarding?
Yeah. So you can either manually, if I go back over to the ASIN sheet, you can either just manually add a row and then put the ASIN in there and then tell me that you've done that, or you can just send support@ecomtriage.com an email saying, please add these ASINs to the sheet. One other thing you all need to know about. Thanks, Mike. Awesome. Ryan, no problem. You have a merchant account, but haven't listed your products. If you go ahead and sign up now, when you're ready, we'll be ready. It's totally fine. We'll work that out. So here's something everyone needs to know. Every row on here represents all child variations for this ASIN. This could be a parent ASIN listed, it could be a child ASIN listed, but it represents all variations. That just keeps these forms fairly clean.
Mhm.
Um, Julie, you talked about 4-2 to 4-3. Yes. What about a 3-2 to a 3-3? Yikes. You know, to be honest, I don't have enough data. I don't have any clients that have ratings that low. Um, either, and I'm sorry to say this, but my opinion is that either you deserve to have a rating that low or you have been slammed by fraudulent activity. And I
Well,
hope
Dan,
it's
and here,
the
I've seen cases because we've sold more than 1,000 products, and I've seen
yeah,
cases where certain products, no matter what you do, get negative reviews because um, it's a
fair.
product that's highly used. Like, I'll give you an example. We used to sell this product that was like a anti-snore guard, and it's such a personal item. Like,
Mm,
either you love it or you hate it. And
yeah.
so you would get just this dramatic mix of fives and ones because it like solved your snoring or it completely didn't.
Okay, fair. I don't
So you
I
end up at 3.5.
yeah. You know, okay, that makes sense. I don't know that I have any clients with that situation, but yes, that does make sense. It actually reminds me back in 2018 or something like that, we launched an anti-gray hair serum
Hmm.
and which was not a dye. And people would misuse it and then leave a negative review based on misuse.
Yeah,
Um,
I've seen
and
that. Yeah.
yeah, so but we were able to get those removed because it was obvious product misuse. Um, so Julie, what if it's the latter? Is it going to be
Julie
150,000?
wrote a couple messages earlier on, and it sounds like she's got a lot of reviews that she wants to deal with here, Dan. And so you
Yeah.
may just jump on a call with her after.
Yeah.
She was asking for like a live demo, but I don't know if you want to do that. I don't know. Like, it probably would be more personal to her, you know.
Yeah. AJ, would you please reach out to Julie and just get her email and because Julie, if you've got tens of thousands of reviews, we need to be strategic about it. Um yeah, yeah, that's not a problem. Okay, 3,300 reviews. That's that's fair. That's a fair number. But the short answer to your question is no. And you know, we can talk about that and we'll go over what needs to be done. Um, I mean, we're over the top of the hour here. I thought I'd be done in 10 minutes, but does does anybody here have any additional questions for me? I want to make sure that thank you, Julie. I want to make sure, look, I'm a seller too. Okay. So I get it. JK, absolutely. I can handle the volume of clients. Yep, not a problem. Um, I'm a seller too. Everyone, there's an onboarding process here. We're all gonna have to go through steps back and forth. So it's not like 5 minutes from now it's gonna happen. But yeah, that's not the volume is not an issue. I have removed thousands of thousands, not products, reviews for hundreds of customers, not an issue. Um, so I want to make sure you all understand this is a service I offer, but I am an active seller today. Well, my wife does most of that, but we started this 15 years ago. We sell in the supplement space. We're still selling in the supplement space today. I understand what you go through. I've almost been bankrupt by Amazon twice because they suspended my account without cause. Um, l- won't go into that. Um, so my goal is to help as many people as I can. There is a cost associated with that for all of us. And if you think that I firmly believe that even a single negative review removed has great value because maybe that review is the one review that pushes it over the edge for the person that decided not to purchase your product. Um, if you feel that there's any possibility that this could help your brand, I'd urge you to get started now. AJ is likely already working on getting the just the welcome emails to acknowledge that we got your sign up and all that. Um, let's see. Let's go on to some more questions. I think you all understand. Oh yeah, that's right. Let's do some. Yeah. All right, everybody.
Oh, wow. Just
Um,
disco time. Steven said, my product is sold by other sellers in other countries. Can you
okay.
remove the reviews from these countries?
Yes. Yeah, I can. We can we if we need to, we can manually add the ASIN to the ASIN sheet if it's not in your Seller Central. If it is in your Seller Central, then we'll get that ASIN anyhow. And the reviews, they're aggregate. They aggregate from all sellers. It's on the product. So that's not an issue. Saudi Arabia, speak three languages, Arabic, so you can expand here. Did Jawad say something else earlier? Uh,
You can do
I
Canada and Europe, as you already said, right?
Yes, absolutely. Europe has a separate merchant token, no problem. What we do in those cases, if it's the same brand or the same ASINs or the same product, we'll just add them into one ASIN sheet. That way, we're not working on, if it's the same ASIN in Europe, it doesn't matter that you have a different merchant token in the EU or the UK because we're going to get those reviews. With that being said, sometimes it is good if we also add permissions to manage cases in Europe, but typically we go through the US. So that's not an issue. I realize that some of you are going to have some nuances and some specific situations. Um, I'm really open. You know, I'm not here just to make a buck. I'm here to help. If I feel I cannot help you, I'm going to tell you honestly about that I don't think so. Mexico, sure. Yeah, we handle Mexico. Um, let's say you remove some 3-star and then it brings me well, if I remove a 3-star, it doesn't bring your overall rating down. Because Amazon considers that a negative review. So even I mean, I've had clients ask me to remove 4 stars because it brings their overall rating down. Um, I'll do it if it's non-compliant, but it's the likelihood of that being so is not that great. So I've gotten some 5 stars removed for clients because uh, they were it was an incredible fraudulent review, to be honest. This guy unfortunately for him it was his buyer account that's associated with his business, but he went out to all of his competitors. I'm trying to remember what the product was. It was like I don't know, let's call it like a lotion. It was in the beauty space, but he says I love this product, but I love Kingston El Guapo Flapo product better. It's so much smoother and blah 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 blah, and then a link to the product. So, but it was a 5-star review. So I actually ended up getting he did about that on about 5 competitors, and those were the only reviews done on that account, and I got that account suspended. So it was very
Wow.
interesting. Um, when you said, oh yeah, thank you, Joad. Much appreciated. Um, are there? I see we've still got quite a few people here. I have a feeling
I
like,
had a question from Mark here. It says, is there
yeah.
any way to know if we're close to the next review rating level?
Oh
We
man,
have
I
30,000
wish.
reviews at 4.6. I don't think that there is a way. Is there, Dan?
So I've built calculators, I've used calculators, and every single one of them are incorrect or correct or way off. Um, the short answer is no. Um, I even use ChatGPT to build a full-blown calculator to assign rough weighting to ratings. So no written review, just ratings, and then assign mathematical weight to ones, twos, threes, fours, fives, ratings and written. And it was spot on one client and way off for another. It's just The problem is Amazon's algorithms are based on so many more factors than just the review or just the rating that it's literally and they don't publish this data. Look, I'll show you. Let me share my screen again here. So go this one here. So if I click on this and I click on see customer reviews and I click on how customer reviews and ratings work, it says to calculate the overall star rating and percentage breakdown by star, we don't use a simple average. Instead, our system considers things like how recent a review is and if the reviewer bought the item on Amazon. It also analyzed reviews to verify trust. Where it also analyzes reviews. Yeah, they should use their AI to fix their grammar, but it's or maybe I'm reading it wrong. So, but yeah, it's Amazon tells you it's not mathematical, you know? It is not a simple average. And so here's how I get my assessment, by the way, everybody. I'm a Google local guide. I have over 20 million views on my stuff. I'm a level 8 out of 10. And uh and this is like reviews on Google. So my wife and I, we've been all over the place. Before we had children, we just traveled the country, traveled the world, and we would leave reviews on these places. And that turned out to be something that was actually very important for businesses. So we continued to do it. Now, Google's rating system, they give a point allowance based on, was it just a star rating? Did it have a title and a body? How much was written? Were there pictures? How many pictures were there? Is there a video? And the more you do, the better written your content is, the more pictures you have. If you have the menu picture on there, etc., you get more and more and more points for this review that you do. Amazon, so I've been selling on Amazon for 15 years, okay? And Amazon, let's see, about 10 years ago, this is shortly after, about 2 or 3 years after ads came out, and about 4 years after FBA went live. So what I started seeing, because I used to own an SEO company, I did local search marketing, I built websites and stuff like that. I started seeing Amazon employ certain SEO tactics that Google had many, many years ago. And they were in the infancy of this. And every year we go on, as Google implements these AI changes, these SEO changes, I see Amazon catching up to them in terms of the technology. So I really firmly believe that Amazon's system is the review system is very similar to Google's in that there is a point system. And that is like, how important is this review to the prospective buyer? And that therefore holds more weight. So the short answer is that that we well, short answer is there's no calculation. Um, I typically generally see, if we're improving your star rating between star ratings, you'll see a decrease in BSR. And BSR goes wild all the time, right? But you'll see an overall decrease. But that's not always the case. Sometimes I see an increase in BSR and an increase in sales. But it needs to be looked at over months. Michael, yeah, I'll give you the quick rundown. I have a $500 onboarding fee, and you pay $225 per removed review. It's a pay for performance model. If you sign up today, like now, the $500 onboarding fee is waived. You pay $1.50, and then we get you onboarded, and you only pay for the reviews that get removed. As soon as you go through the payment process and all that stuff, My executive assistant, AJ, will reach out to you with a welcome email, just informing you, hey, we got your information. We're going to start doing your audit on your brand. And then we will produce a, did that come through? Yeah, we will produce an ASIN sheet, an audit sheet just like this that has your ASINs. Once you're fully onboarded, we'll download your reviews and you'll be able to see all the negative reviews. Column K shows you that we have worked on the review. And then the removed reviews column shows you which ones we've removed. These, by the way, everyone, these are real reviews that we've removed. This is just random. I put random ASINs, but these are actually real reviews that we've removed. So this is a common one. If you guys are in the supplement space or food, taste is horrible. I wanted to like it, but it was horrible. Very good to work with. They took it back, right? You wouldn't think that that was non-compliant, but we were able to remove it.
Dana, man, I just super appreciate you coming on here and doing this. And then I really appreciate you making it available for everybody at no cost.
Yeah.
I know it's a ton of work, but I do know that I have personally experienced this so many times. I've seen how powerful getting a better star rating on reviews can be. It's literally doubled my sales more times than I can count. I've seen negative, malicious customers attack us with negative reviews. I've seen how painful that is to businesses. Like you mentioned before, it cripples businesses and families and all these things. So I
Yeah.
super appreciate what you do, man.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that you were able to come on here and share the things that you shared. I think
Thanks, everyone.
everybody appreciates you just as much as I do. So
Yeah, thank you.
guys, I don't want to take up all of Danon's time here today. JK says great presentation.
Thank you, JK. One
Alex,
last thing, Seth.
go ahead.
I just need to let everyone know I made a mistake in the pricing. If you check that box to prepay for your first 2 reviews, it only charges 200. It's supposed to be 400. That will be prepaying for your first review. Okay. That's a big mistake on my side, and I did not want anyone to get upset by that.
So guys, if you want, what Danon was offering is if you prepay for 2 reviews, it would normally cost $450. Today, if you prepaid, he was only going to charge you $400, so there'd be a $50 savings. He accidentally set it to 200.
Yeah.
So, but he did say if you're willing, if you want to, he is willing to honor that for a second review. Just reach out to him. You said it's support at econtriage.com, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think I just fixed the pricing. Yeah. There we go.
Okay, very good.
Should have done that earlier. Yeah, look, I'm sorry about that. As I said before, this is the first time I've ever built a landing page. This is the first time I've ever done a presentation like this. So I just messed up on that. Please don't roast me over it. I couldn't possibly offer 2 reviews for 200. So if you've already prepaid for that 200, that will cover your first review. And AJ, let's make sure that we put this in the email to everyone that prepaid. But yeah, that was my mistake. Yeah.
Jawad says, I rarely stay online for long webinars, but this is great. And you shared everything. Great presentation. And thanks for the onboarding offer. Facilitates for new sellers like me and to get professional help when needed. Appreciate it, Dan. And that's the same thought that I had. I super appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks, everyone.
I know it was a struggle to get that deck put together, but I think it came out awesome, and appreciate it.
Well, props to my wife. My wife is the one that actually did that, and then AJ helped us build the review troll and stuff like that. So if I had built that deck, it would be white backgrounds with black text. So
well, she did amazing.
To my wife,
so.
She is. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much. And once again, if you think this has any value to you whatsoever, I urge you to sign up now. And because it's $150, and you'll only pay for removed reviews. Cool, dude. Very
good.
I think I'm spent on Q&A.
Yeah. All right. Elena says already signed up. Thank you. Mark says thank you to you both. Frank Rizzo says
Gamma
Dana.
AI.
There you go. Guys,
Frank, where were you last week, man? Jeez.
You're getting lots of love in the chat box, man. Can't thank you enough. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys on the next session. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Bye.